his religion. The president is a Christian and he believes in Jesus.
But it shouldn't be any surprise, because it was actually reported by some mainstream media people in 2017, but then they covered it up very quickly after that Donald Trump converted to Judaism.
Donald Trump converted to Judaism 2 years ago, according to White House official. There it is. That's his blog. He said, President Donald Trump converted to Judaism 2 years ago and joined Chabad Lubavitch synagogue in New York City, according to a high-level White House official. Mr. Goldberg says the story has allegedly been held by CNN's editors for months, but is due to be released within the next few days. David Elias Goldberg, a fellow at the Jewish Center of Anti-Semitic Study, has also interviewed the White House source. According to the source, Trump was pushed by his daughter Ivanka and son-in-law Jared Kushner to join the faith. At first, Trump resisted, stating it would threaten his base of evangelical Christian voters. However, he had a change of heart and officially converted in early 2017. The ceremony was held in private and closely guarded for nearly 2 years. It appears the White House is prepared to slowly release this information, and by summer, it is expected Trump will fully address his new faith in an evening televised news conference.
He also went to Jesuit school, which is basically crypto-Jews. His whole family are Jewish now. It shouldn't be any surprise, but people can't say it. He's like, he's trying to make America great again, except for he kind of changed, he took the America part out right after he got selected.
We're going to take back our country, and we're going to make Israel great again.
This is Luke 12:2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Ka'ala Yahweh Bashem El Shai, Bashem Rakabardash, which are the true Hebrew names of the Most High Father, Yahweh, which is Hebrew for He is, and in His name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, whose Hebrew name means He is salvation. The Lord is my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who the house of David reborn again in this generation. And shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. So today's lesson is simply going to be in highlighting Trump's actual religion. Now, if you're unaware, the year 2017 was the year that Trump ran for president, right? And he won his first term. Now, you may not remember it, but when Trump first got into the race and he was running against all the other Republican candidates, everybody thought it was a joke, and he basically wasn't doing that good in the polls. Basically, it was like the mid or early 2016 when all of a sudden he turned it around and he started getting more popular, and not popular by the people. I should say he started becoming popular through the media. The media then started to report on him and started to do good gesture reports about him. And that shift happened because ultimately Trump got in bed with these Amalekites. Now, let me go ahead and explain what we're looking at here. You see, Trump has been a big part of getting Amalek his wants and his desires there in the land of Israel. You see, this here, where you have Netanyahu standing in front of Trump's heights, is recently, or in that time, it was recently annexed land of the Golan Heights. They basically took it away from Syria, I believe. This used to be like Bazan, or what was it called? In the Bible, this area was called like Basan, right, or something like that, or Bashan, right? In the Bible, that's what the Golan Heights, which is where apparently Trump Heights is, around that area. But the whole point that I'm bringing this image out here is that it should be very clear to the world that Trump is basically Amalek's guy. And again, Amalek is simply the biblical name for the people in the land of Israel today. You see, those Israelis, they are of the tribe of Amalek, okay? They descend from Amalek. Now, who was Amalek? Amalek was Esau's firstborn grandson, okay? That's why these people have the birthright power that they do, and hence they lead all the Edomite nation. Now, what are Edomites? Edomites is the biblical term where the Caucasians and Israelis come from, okay? So, for example, Israelis are Amalekites, which are the top tribe of the nation of Edom. Caucasians are simply just Edomites of their own respective Edomite tribe. Just as there's 12 tribes of Israel, which make up the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and all those whose father's lineage goes back to that bloodline, Edom also has 12, or basically different tribes. I believe it's 12. But that I'm not too sure. I haven't looked into it, but I'm pretty sure it's 12. That being said, these devils here in the land of Israel, they basically have brought in Trump into their fold, okay? And by doing that, they're able to get through the American mindset of, basically electing a foreigner. Remember, these guys basically had a walking corpse and an auto pin machine as the presidents for the 4 years after Trump and then before Trump. Now that was all part of the magic that they did. But the point being is that Trump is now in league with these people. So these people's agenda is going to happen. And in fact, we're seeing that happen right now. And that's what's going to fulfill this prophecy. This is the apostles have made it very clear that Trump is this cruel Lord, right? This is Isaiah 19:4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of the cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith Yahweh Bashem Shai of hosts. You see, so that cruel Lord is ultimately Trump.
So Donald Trump just said the quiet part out loud on national TV while arguing with Chuck Schumer from the Senate, where he said the unbelievable on live TV, basically declaring that he is absolutely a dictator and he will use the military to get his way. You literally cannot make this stuff up. Check this out.
One thing I think we can agree on is we shouldn't shut down the government over a dispute. And you want to shut it down. You keep talking about it.
The last time, Chuck, you shut it down.
No.
And then you opened it up very quickly.
20 times.
I don't want to do what you did.
20 times you've called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my will. None of us have
You
said
want to know something?
You said it.
You want to put that on my
said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay.
And there you have it, folks. The normalization of dictatorship, basically threatening the sitting minority leader in the Senate, Chuck Schumer, with military action if he does not get his way. Basically telling the Congress, you answer to me. There is no more separation of power. We cannot allow this normalization of authoritarianism, dictatorship, and threats of military use to continue in America any longer. Guys, spread the word on this because this is integral to our future as Americans.
So as you can see there, right, the Babylonians are starting to see it, right, that the Lord put the spirit on Trump to be that cruel Lord, and he's doing everything that's going on now, from the shutting down of this government, announcing the the biometric ID that's backed by AI surveillance at the UN just last weekend, I believe, right? All these things, all the passing of the hate speech laws that they're trying to get passed, all these things that these guys are doing, the Genius Act, which is ultimately surveillance for everybody on their all electronics, everything. This is all part of God's plan in total, but he's having it done through these Edomites, and these Edomites are facilitating it from their top tribe, Amalek, and that's why they had Trump when he became president, right? Remember, it said early 2017. That's when did he become president? Early 2017, right? I think you go into the office. I think it's like November, like the first week of November or something after winning. So you see, that's what's happening right now. So this guy here, by the way, and I wanted to share this image because this is a famous image, and I was watching a lesson from Apostle Tahar, and he had brought this up, right? That Trump ultimately is Nero in the reincarnation. When you look at Trump's spirit, you look at images of Nero. Here's Nero here watching his living torches, which ultimately he would take Hebrew Israelites, right? And this time, or we call them Christians, right? The Bible refers to them as Christians. The Romans called them Christians, right? Because they were followers of Christ, but they were ultimately Hebrew Israelites. Now here they have them painted like, looking like Caucasians or, Italians, whatever, but up here should have been basically all so-called black people, right? But check this out. That's Trump, right? And Trump, just like he persecuted the Hebrew Israelites in Rome when he was king, he's gonna do it again, right? It's in his spirit, to perform these cruel tasks, which the Bible says that the Lord would, appoint over the Israelites. And why is that? Well, because it is part of the judgment that's coming for the 2/3. Okay, it tells us in the Bible that the Lord's going to bring on all these calamities for the wicked, right? Those Israelites that the Lord has, tried to, stretch his hand out towards, but they basically batted it away. They haven't cared about the truth of this Bible. They're too worried with the matters of their world or, their life. Well, the Lord is finally going to start bringing that judgment and through his acts, and his acts are the nation of Edom. In this case, it's going to be Trump, and that's why he brought Trump back with his kids. And you know what? I wouldn't even doubt that his kids, because remember, all his family, they've all joined Amalek's side, right? So I wouldn't doubt that his family are going to be set up as future leaders, even Ivanka Trump's child or something like that. They're going to probably be the leaders of the America that Amalek or Edom has plans for how America is going to turn out. Because America is going to, for the most part, be revamped into a European style like place, right? They're going to try to make America like Europe, which is why you're seeing all these mega apartments going up all over. This is why they're purposely making rent and mortgages, unbearable, so people could basically cram in more to these inner cities, right, where they're going to bring in a lot of this martial law and whatnot. Well, that being said, that's Esau's agenda. That's his plan. But what does the Bible tell us? That as soon as he's about to fill his belly, then the Lord shall strike him through. So these Edomites are going to fulfill their plans, right? Though they have it all set up now, and they're taking action on their plans. We're seeing all these things go through, all these digital IDs becoming mandatory, the stable coins being adopted all over, the banking and financial systems, all of these things happening, right? The testing of brain chips on human people now. And again, it's all being done by this devil's, authority, right? Because he has the Babylonians entranced, right? That he's over the people. And these are the people that he, for example, has in power. Listen to what this devil has to say about you Jakes there in Memphis specifically, right? Because that's where they're going to go to.
This is the United States of America, and all that bullshit is done. It's over. It's finished. The gangbangers that you deal with, they think that they're ruthless. They have no idea how ruthless we are. They think they're tough. They have no idea how tough we are. They think that they're hardcore. We are so much more hardcore than they are. And we have the entire weight of the United States government behind us. What do they have? They have nothing behind them. So we are going to win. They're going to lose. We are going to rescue Memphis.
But see, what he ultimately is talking about, even though he made people think he's addressing the, Israelites or the, Jake down there in Memphis, he's really talking to the rest of the heathen in the world, okay? And all us Israelites here in Babylon the Great. Because though they may go after Memphis next, again, remember, Trump said that he spoke to Pete Hegseth and said that they should test out their military on these dangerous cities, right? Give the military some training. So again, this is going to start a crazy time. But again, this is the stuff that Esau has to do to bring forward his agenda. Because why? Because he knows that he doesn't have that much time, because he knows that the Lord's on his way back. So he has to initiate his plans. And that's what we're seeing. This is Revelations 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And that's what's happening, right? These devils, they know that they have a short time. This is why they're doing the most right now, to try to take all the land over there in Israel, right? All the Holy Land, so that way they can fulfill the prophecy of the Antichrist still in the Holy Land in Ezekiel 36 and 5, right? They're bringing forward their Mark of the Beast agenda, so that way they could win back their blessing. But that ain't gonna work, right? So, but either way, I just thought this was interesting. I wanted to put that out there because I think this is something that we should all realize, right? Because even though Judaism is a made-up man doctrine, it's not going to give any power, because this is ultimately just the power of these devils in this kingdom. But when the Lord comes back, he's destroying all that, right? There's no power of that over this truth. So either way, okay, hopefully this video was edifying. Until next time, let's give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, Bashem Yahshai, Bashem Kodash. Shalom.